Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to TCG Cast. I'm going to do a quick deck profile for my 3-0 sealed deck. So first off, I ran Sabine Wren and Echo Base, so Green Sabine, or Green Bean as people are calling it. And let's look at the one-drop package. So Cantina Braggart, I just wanted a body. It's Raid 2, works perfectly. Vanguard Infantry, same thing. It's a 1-2. When defeated, I can give an experience token to a unit, so I can either crash this and make something bigger, or it just stays there and does stuff. This next one, most of these were kind of in my like 27, 28, 29 slot. These were just there to fill in gaps. I never used, so these two I never really, actually no, I used this once. This was just resourced every single time. This came out multiple times actually, because I'd have one resource available and I just put a body down and nobody really wanted to attack it, and all of a sudden, like, boom, I'm doing 2 damage into your base. So this one worked out nicely. These two are, you know, whatever. This was, again, one of the 29. I'm just trying to fill in a gap. I did play it once. I did get a unit. That was great. This was the MVP. This actually won me quite a few games. So being able to drop this, a unit loses Sentinel for the phase, means the rest of my stuff that's already on board can start swinging in to the base for a win. So this was actually a really big one cost, because a lot of people think, oh, I play the Sentinel, you can't do anything. I'm sitting on one untapped resource. You know, it's just like that. What are you gonna do? Well, if I slap this down, you only have one Sentinel, and I've got a bunch of things on board. You just have a bad day. So this was an MVP, super good, very, very awesome card that I could say many good things about. Next up in the 2 drops, so we have the Green Squadron A-Wing. Try saying that 3 times fast. So this is Raid 2. This is just a great turn 1 play. Got the foil version there. So you slap this down, turn 1, and then turn 2 you start swinging in. I did have a combo piece in my 3 drops with Red 3, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but this gives my other friendly hero units Raid 1. So these are swinging on turn 2 for 4 damage. Which is really nice. So there's that. Battlefield Marine. So these are 2 of, in my opinion, just the most efficient 3 or 2 drops in the game. You have a 3/3 body on the ground and a 3/3 body in the air when attacking. On defense, you're not nearly as good. Academy Training. I did this on top of a Battlefield Marine and then started swinging for 5 every turn. Absolutely disgusting. Like, turn 1, play this. Turn 2, untap. Attach, swing. Like, what are you gonna do? And then Sabine's just, you know, plinking 1 damage here and there. So between this and Sabine on turn 2, I've got 6 damage on your base. Oof, super, super spicy. So this helped empower a lot of things. I could put it on my Marine, I could put it on my squad. I mean, it didn't matter. This just helped make my scary things bigger. Prepare for Takeoff. I never used this. I just resourced it. It was there, it was available, like, it works. Same thing with Alliance X-Wing. I think I played this one time. It's a 2/3 body in space. Rebel Pathfinder, there were a couple times where I ran into Luke decks. Shocking, I know. And people were putting a bunch of shields on their stuff, so I would just, you know, pop in, get rid of the shields, and then this would die. But they don't have 2 shields or 1 shield on a thing I don't want to deal with. And then Mon Mothma, I play this every single game. Being able to dig, so you search the top 5 cards of your deck for a Rebel card and you put it in your hand. If you notice, quite a few of my cards have the Rebel tag. Oh, I'm sorry, not the heroism, but you got like Rebel here, Rebel here, Rebel here, Rebel here, Rebel, Spec Forces, Rebel, Dispatchers, Rebel. There's a lot of cards in here that have the Rebel keyword. So Mon Mothma being able to let me dig through 5 cards in my deck empowers more consistency, and I'm able to hit these big bombs that I really want. So my 2-drop package was really, really powerful. Again, this is good. This is good. These aren't bad. They're just there to help kind of fill in, but these are the real heroes. This used to dig. These you want to mulligan, so turn 1, you're dropping something that's going to deal 3 damage immediately, and then if you can see this and just put it on top of one of your just scary bodies, it's like, cool, here's 5 here, here's 5 here, here's another one here. 6 damage on turn 2 is pretty stupid in my personal opinion. So yeah, the 2-drop package was really strong. There were just so many really, really nasty things you were doing. And consistently, I don't think I missed... I think there was one game I missed one of those. No, there wasn't. One of these power drops in round 2, I was able to hit every single time. It was just really consistent. Okay, red 3, so we talked about this earlier. So this says each other friendly unit gains raid 1. So you can do some really dumb things where turn 1, you play your Battlefield Marine, so it's a 3/3. Turn 2, you play red 3 in space, and then boom, each other friendly hero unit gains raid 1. Your Battlefield Marine is swinging in for 4 on offense, and then you plink Sabine for 5. I mean, that's just nuts. It's so incredibly good. And then if you have the Green Squadron A-Wings in the air, I mean, this just combos in super nice. Consortium of Star Viper, this actually won me quite a few games because I did face, so we played 3 matches, best of 3, 50-minute rounds, 60-minute rounds. This deck obviously goes so fast, the time never actually mattered. But there were a couple games where I played against aggro, so I hit a Leia deck, and being able to swing for 3 and then heal 2 kept me alive long enough to win the game. I think I got Restore 2 off 3 or 4 times. And that just extends the life of your base so much longer. There were times where I would pass on an attack on the ground because I was just getting such a massive swing of basically 5 points of damage, 3 into their base, 2 off of mine. And the first game I lost, I dead drew. I couldn't get anything. The second game we played, I won by 1 point, and this was the MVP. Being able to uncheck, like I never saw anything in space. It was just 3 to the base, 2 off of my base over and over and over. So Restore 2, this is an amazing card in the 3-drop slot. This card I never saw play. It was almost useless. Open Fire, this saw a lot of play, being able to deal 4 damage to a unit, just great. And then I pulled Fighters for Freedom, so this actually did a lot of things. Many people were using Sentinels to try and protect themselves. Having Saboteur and being able to just crack into the base, not caring about your Sentinel, was great. The big reason I love this card is it says when you play another aggression card, another red card, you may deal 1 damage to the base. If you notice, I have lots of aggression cards. So trying to get this out on turn 3 and then play this later, deal 4 damage to a unit, boom, deal 1 damage to a base, play red 3, deal 1 damage to a base. Lots of my cards in this deck are aggression, and this just kind of sat dealing damage, and then I could use Sabine. So if I played a red card, I could essentially get 1 free damage here, and then activate Sabine to get another damage. So the red synergy with this card was really spicy. But yeah, the big heroes are here. Red 3 empowered my hero units to just crack into people because they all get raid 1. And then Consortium Star Viper, if you can keep the initiative where you just attack real fast, claim the initiative, 3 damage, healing 2 damage, that adds up really fast. So yeah, my 3-drop package was okay, not the strongest in the world, but it didn't need to be, because the 4 drops are really where things get spicy. Regional Sympathizers, I played this once and then it immediately got ambushed off the board, so I have nothing to say. Restore 2 is good. It just never hit. This is the MVP of my deck. General Dodonna, Old Man Jenkins, other friendly rebel units get +1/+1. Holy smokes. Again, most of my units have the rebel keyword. So being able to give my red 3 +1/+1, my Battlefield Marine +1/+1, Squadron A-Wing +1/+1, you're just boosting all of your stat lines into an insane value. And if you stay on curve, so like the perfect game is play Battlefield Marine or Green Squadron A-Wing. Then you play red 3, so all of your heroes are getting raid +1/+0. Then you drop General Dodonna, so now your Green Squadron A-Wing or your Battlefield Marine is, like, say your Battlefield Marine, you start 3 base, then you swing with raid 1, so you have +1, then you have General Dodonna, so you're swinging for 5 with a 2-drop. Nuts. Very stupid. Also, by the time General Dodonna comes out, guess who hits the table? Sabine Wren. She is a rebel. She is on attack. So if Dodonna is out, she swings for 2 base, 3 here, 4 with Rebel 3, and then her ability does another damage, so 5. So between the Battlefield Marine and Sabine on turn 4, you can deal 10 damage to a base if they don't have a Sentinel, which is dumb, which I did do. And, you know, Sabine Green kind of wins games. She's nutso fast and very powerful and sealed. All right, next up, shout-outs to D-House from Unplayable. He used this against me and crushed me with so many of these Frontier ATRT surprise attacks when we were at the Fantasy Flight event. So after getting my my tush handed to me, I realized this card is very good if I can build around vehicles. Well, guess what? Vehicle, 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 vehicle. I have a lot of vehicle here with the X-Wing. Lots of my cards have this vehicle tag, so if I couldn't hit a Dodonna, it wasn't uncommon to see this and then just pop it in and poke somebody down. So this was a very, very great turn 4 to take someone's board down a little bit, and with the 5 HP, very potent. So Dodonna, my 4-drop, Wampa hit the field a couple times, and of course it's a 4/5 with Overwhelm, just, you know, crack into someone and hurt him. Escort Skiff was also good. There were many games where I would play a 1-drop Vanguard Infantry or an Alliance Dispatcher on turn 5, and then I would get ambush because this says when you control another green unit, this unit gains ambush. So on its own, it's not uncommon to say I have a Star Viper or a Battlefield Marine or something on the board with green, and then this gets ambush. If I didn't, and you know, I could play Dodonna to set up a big turn, and then on turn, like with 5 resources, play a 1-drop. Nobody cares. They're like, oh, cool, it's a 1-drop. I'm like, cool, here's a 4 to the face. Like your little thing over there that you were hoping to live, just it's gone. So my 4-drops, other than this, really was where the deck started getting crazy. So again, like the Wombo combo was turn 1, one of these, turn 3, or 3 resources, red 3, 4 resources, Dodonna. And at that point, you're just swinging for the fences. It was kinda stupid. But wait, there's more. So if you think that this is dumb, wait until you see the 5-drop slot. So Zeb actually never came out. I never really hit him. If I did, I would probably hit him to the resource pile because Wedge Antilles is absolutely the hero of my 5-drop slots. So each friendly vehicle gets +1/+1 and gains ambush. Most of the things I have here have ambush, so that wasn't the big reason I liked Wedge. It's a 5/5 for 5, so he's on curve, but all my vehicles get +1/+1. What else do I have that's a vehicle? Oh, I don't know. My Green Squadron A-Wing, my Red 3, my Star Viper, Escort Skiff coming in as a 5/5 is gross. Frontier ATRT becomes a 4/6. That's not nice. If I ever got the Regional Sympathizers off, it would have been a 4/5. So yeah, this was like the empowerment to, if these are still on the board, they just got bigger. And if I have Dodonna on the board, they get +2/+2 because Rebels get +1/+1 and vehicle units get +1/+1. So I mean, like, let's look at this combo. Let's look at how dumb this could be. So you're looking at Green Squadron A-Wing, which is a Rebel and a vehicle. You have Red 3 online. Pull out General Dodonna. Okay, so if this attacks, I get 1, 2, 3 from just this, then +1 here, so 4, +1 here, so 5, and then Wedge gives it another +1, so 6. So my 2-drops, if unchecked, are swinging for 6 apiece. That's kind of nuts. And then if Dodonna swings, and this is still online, I get 4 and +1 from Raid, so I get a 5 damage into your base. If we go to turn 6, Wedge will swing for 6. This will swing for 2, 3, 4, and like we're not even talking about Sabine. So she's if all of this is online, like we don't care about Wedge. So she gets a +1 here from Rebel, and she gets a +1 here for being a hero. So it's 2, 3, 4, and 5 into the base. Just so, as you can see, this deck, if totally unchecked and I hit the nuts on curve, it's just bam, 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 oof, super scary. Next up, the Steadfast Battalion, I never really did much with. It was there. 90% of the time I just resourced it. No big deal. These two were really the hero, like straight up. These were the gas. And then in the 5-drop, this was also a great card to combo with Wedge. So if I didn't have the Wedge, I could ambush out a snow speeder, and I get 3/6 if I have red 3 online. I have a 4/6 if my opponent had a vehicle. It never happened, but if they had a vehicle, I could just, lock it down. So realistically, Wedge was the empowering for this whole deck because there was just an insane amount of vehicles and rebel spam. So these two just super hyper overpowered everything in the deck. And then my last 2 cards are the 6-drop. It's the Mercenary Company. These actually did win me a couple of games because of the ambush overwhelm. So, you get to 6 resources with Sabine, doing her thing. There's like 3 or 4 or less health on the table. And, someone just slaps down a Sentinel. It's like, okay, cool. Well, this isn't a Rebel, so I don't get Dodonna bonuses. This isn't a vehicle, so I don't get Wedge bonuses, but it has Ambush Overwhelm. So, like, I would see the Gamorrean Guards, which are a 4/4 Sentinel, or you would see, like, the Cloud City Guard. So, anyways, what you do is, with 6 resources, you slap this down, you swing in, you defeat the thing that's in your way with Sentinel, and then the extra damage goes through. And at this point, generally, your base can take a hit or 2, and then whatever's left over on the ground, you just swing for the game. So being able to ambush and overwhelm usually had just enough damage to win. Actually, there was a game where I played this, swung into their Gamorrean Guard Sentinel. I dealt 1 damage. They had 1 damage left. I don't even remember what they did. They attacked or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. Sabine ran ability, game's over. Because you can't stop this. So when you're playing this deck, you try and set up unwinnable scenarios where either you have so many things, so many cheap bodies on the board that something is going to get through, or you set up this nasty little bugger where somebody plays a Sentinel and they're like, okay, I'm safe behind my Sentinel, they can't touch me. Because normally when they play a Sentinel, they play here, say this is a Sentinel, they play it sideways and they think, okay, this can't attack, but they can't attack me. And so when you see this card, you just sit on it. You just wait. Don't resource it. Hold on to it. And at the right moment, when they go, cool, here's my Sentinel. Like, say they're playing like Chewbacca, and they play, this 2/9 Sentinel, and you're thinking, I can't get through that, and I'm safe, and I'm gonna get an entire round. Cool, for 1 resource, I'm still gonna win the game because everything on my ground side that you thought can't touch your base swings right in, and you're just toast. So this is like one of the biggest MVPs of my deck, because so many people hide behind a Sentinel, and being able to turn that off is just absolutely bananas. And honestly, this was a great answer too with Saboteur, because it says when this unit attacks, I ignore Sentinel and I defeat leader shields. So if you're going into Luke decks, you can just bop those shields off. But if people are starting to play Sentinels to slow you down, this just doesn't care. And conveniently, it's got the Rebel keyword and it's got the Heroism keyword. So Dodonna buffs it and Red 3 buffs it. So you can swing in for 5 damage and they can't stop you. So yeah, that is my deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. I know that the weekend is practically over. There are still some events at local stores on Sunday, and I know some stores are doing Mondays and Tuesdays because they didn't get their pre-release kits in. But I wish everyone the best of luck, because even if the pre-release weekend is over, Sealed is still a really fun event, and I would be more than happy to play 6-pack Sealed events at my local game store as frequently as possible. But yeah, here's the deck profile, Sabine Green. Thanks to everyone for hanging out and watching this video, and we'll see you next time.